Today we're doing r/am at a-hole family edition. I kind of feel like Jerry Springer, Jeremy Kyle right now, like we're getting to the bottom of the family drama. I'm at a-hole for wanting to end a family tradition that excludes one child. Every April, my wife's family holds a family reunion. They don't celebrate holidays together often, so they go all out for these, renting a hall, catering, the works. The only weird event at these reunions is a clothing swap between the women of the family. For whatever reason, when my family and their sisters all had daughters close in age, they decided a long time ago that this was the best way to do family hand-me-downs. All the women in my wife's family ended up being very short, 4'10" to 5'1". Wow, they are short, that's like borderline dwarf. I was actually in a dating app a few weeks ago and I was chatting to a guy and I ended up telling him I was 5'5". Keep in mind I'm more like 5'9", 5'10". And it's got nothing to do with this video, I just wanted to tell you that, just fill you in my life. So they all wear rare but similar sizes, so it's always worked out. With a 70-30 gender split and the only men in the family being myself, my brother-in-law and my sons from a previous relationship, this swap meet is the main event. They make it a whole show about it. It's incredibly boring from the outside, so my boys and I always head out early if we go at all. This would be a non-issue if it weren't for my daughter Kate. She's my wife and I's baby. Kate took after my side of the family. We're a taller family, or at least not Kepler elves. So by the time she was 11, she started coming back with nothing from those parties. First time I just assumed she was being picky, until I realized that she was starting to be bigger than her older sisters and cousin and outgrown any size I would wear. I won't lie, like whenever I originally read the title, I was thinking this was going to be some scary family cult where they literally have to give like blood. Do you imagine that? I know that's a mad thing to say, but I'm telling you, some families out there are like proper cults. My wife thought she needed to realize not everything was for everyone and just to have fun being there. Last year she started having body image issues, thinking she was fat and needed to go on a diet, and now I'm thinking having this event is feeding it. This year is going to be a massive deal as my mother-in-law is going into a nursing home and downsizing. She was so into fashion, she has an entire storage unit full, so this is going to be a ton of stuff. I'm starting to think that the reunion shouldn't involve a clothing swap at all, and all of that should be done privately at another time. Family shouldn't be about a fashion show. My wife thinks this is ridiculous and Kate is just having typical teenage problems that will go away on their own. But if she's so bothered she can just not go herself the boys. I don't think that's right. This is mainly a girls' reunion. It's not like there's anything else for an alternative for her to share in because they don't really get rid of accessories or anything. It's just clothes. This event is starting to get mean and exclusionary and it needs to end. I'm trying my best to make them see sense and I'm getting nothing but arguments. Am I really in the wrong here? I'm gonna say no, you're not really. I think quite frankly for them it's a family tradition so they're not gonna change it. There is a way to go about it without getting the daughter completely excluded. What you can maybe do is, you know, like bring the daughter along but she isn't actually around for that bit. You know, I'm assuming they maybe have dinner or chill, etc. I mean, I'm just gonna assume that, I don't know it. I feel like you and your daughter can still go, just don't be present for the fashion bit. While the ladies are doing all the fashion, she can hang out with the guys. Not the a-hole, take her out shopping that day. Your wife will come home with new clothes, your daughter should get some new things also. I mean, yeah, exactly, there we go, that's a way to get around it. You know, you don't want the daughter to feel left out, however, you probably still want to take her there. So while they're all doing that clothing thing, why don't you and her go to a shop and buy a load of clothes? So it means then she gets clothes that she's comfortable in and she doesn't get left out. But that mum did say something which kind of irritated me. It was about the body issues being a typical teenager thing and she'll grow out of it. I think a lot of people who battle body dysmorphia would love for it just to be a teenage stage. Ever, it never is. You know, a lot of times it sticks with them for life. Okay, so that last Redditor agreed with us. This person actually disagrees with us. Probably unpopular opinion, but I think you're overreacting. My friend grip his clothing swaps all of the time. I'm at a larger side and often don't fit in a lot. I still love that they have them and love participating. One clothing swap supports sustainability by encouraging wearing used clothing. The clothing industry is a huge contributor to climate change. 2, they save so much money. 3, it is usually fun together. I really love that your wife's family includes it as a part of their reunion. Like how fun and what an incredible way to celebrate your mother-in-law by everyone getting to take some of her clothing collection. If Kate really doesn't like it, don't make her go. She can leave early if you and the boys. To want them to cancel the entire thing because your daughter feels insecure seems extreme. I can't imagine asking my friends to stop them because of lots of clothes that aren't my size. Okay, yeah, so I also see where that person's coming from. You know, I kind of agree with both of the people. Yeah, I think he's overreacting probably because it's his daughter. You know, that is a father's love for his daughter. However, I feel like you can still get Kate involved, just not with the clothing bit. You know, while they're doing all of that, she could go out shopping, she could hang out with the guys, etc. But overall, are you an a-hole? I'm gonna say you're not. I'm an a-hole for reminding my brother that I'm not his brother. I, 21, was visiting home over Christmas break, and my brother, 15, got annoyed with me because I wouldn't take him out for a driving lesson. He said, well, why would you help me anyway since you aren't my real brother? Oh god, yeah, that's kind of one of them comments where it really does go knife deep. Have you ever had like a friend or like a family member, just someone you really care about, say something really horrible to you? And it isn't like the typical insult where it obviously upsets you. It kind of goes like knife deep. You know, the insult really does hurt. This hurt me a lot, but I didn't say anything. Before spring break, my family asked while we were FaceTiming if I would be visiting, and I said I had plans with friends. My brother said he was disappointed and I said, why? I'm not your real brother. Our parents were shocked and angry I said that. I had a phone call with my dad later where we talked about it. He said it's wrong to hold a grudge over something a 15-year-old said and I needed to let it go. This weekend I was home for our dad's dad's birthday. My brother again asked me to take him to practice for his driving test. I said I'll help you even though I'm not your real brother. It was on an impulse that I said it just because the situation was similar to the original one. He yelled at me that he was sorry about what he said and to stop bringing it up. I said okay, that I wouldn't do it again. I said we can just go drive and not think about it anymore. He said forget it and F you and went to his room. My dad said I owe him an apology. I don't know why what he said got to me so much, but I couldn't let it go. When you say things, it affects people. Of course now he can say the same thing to me, I just don't know. I don't know if I'm being a huge a-hole or an over-emotional crybaby, or maybe I'm in the right. I need some perspective. Honestly, to me this just seems like two brothers bickering with each other. I also don't know the context of that. I don't know if one of them's adopted, if they're stepbrothers. Obviously they're not brothers by blood, however they're brothers by family, and to me it just seems like brothers bickering. Everyone sucks here. 15-year-olds do not get a free pass to say whatever they want with no repercussions. You're picking an old wound too long. He is acting like an immature toddler. Your dad needs a butt out of sibling squabbles. To me it just seems like typical sibling beef, and trust me, sibling beef can be scary. I've been around at my friend's house before and they've been arguing with their brothers and sisters. It goes from arguing to shoving to literal fighting, and I'm not joking, sometimes they'd be scrapping each other. Not sure why every other commenter is giving your brother a free pass. You're both young and being immature. Presumably you actually see each other as brothers and care about one another. Talk it out and directly address this so you can both move on. To me that seems like a pretty grown up response. You know, that's the most mature thing to do. Is it life and death? No. However, I can also understand why it would upset them. Quite clearly they love each other. I know a lot of siblings out there say they don't love their sibling. That is a lie. You know, siblings can fight and argue and say they hate each other, but they do have love deep down for one another. And I feel like this is one of them situations where they just need a bit of time, a bit of space, and then to sit down and talk about it. And then they'll probably be best friends again. I'm at a a-hole for shouting at my mum for embarrassing me at dinner. I-19 Meal recently got a really good first job at the same company as my dad, 38. No, this isn't nepotism. My dad has been at this company since he was about 18 and just told me they had an entry-level position open. It had nothing to do with my landing job. He works in a completely different sector. My parents had me young. My mum was 17, my dad was 19. Met at 17 and 18. So they were proud to see me doing well in life, as when they were my age they were struggling with a baby and my mum was trying to get herself through college and uni. So to celebrate me getting this job, my mum, 37, planned a big dinner with my dad, uncles, 3 of them, myself, my little sister, and my grandparents on her side, and my paternal grandparents died not long before me being born. One important thing to mention is that my mum is on the autism spectrum and also has an eating disorder called ARFID. This makes it hard for her to eat new foods and basically has been eating the same thing since she was born. Okay, now that we've been told that info, I think I've got a feeling what's gonna happen here. I've got a feeling they're gonna go to a restaurant and he's gonna be angry at his mum for not eating certain foods. Please don't tell me you're gonna do that, because you seem like a right a-hole. At this dinner, my mum allowed me to pick the place we went to. I chose a really nice restaurant my dad had taken me to when I got accepted into uni at the beginning this year. It is quite expensive, but my mum was more than happy to bring me there, as I'd seriously loved what my dad brought me. At the dinner, my mum looked over the menu and pulled a face. I immediately knew what was gonna happen. My mum asked for a kids menu for my 8-year-old little sister, and after my sister chose something off that, she looked over it. When the waitress came over, we all ordered, and my 37-year-old mother ordered off the kids menu. I kinda sank into my chair and had a red face. All night, as everyone at the table ate adult food while my mum was eating kids food. But what's the issue here? Your mum has an eating disorder and she's on the autism spectrum. You know, before you went to this restaurant, you probably knew what was gonna happen. Your mum was gonna have something she was familiar with. When we got home, I lost it at my mum, and I might have been a complete a-hole here, but this is how it's been my entire life. I just wanted one night where my mum would eat like a normal person, not embarrass me at a dinner that was meant to be about my success. While in the midst of me asking her why she has to be like this, my mum started crying and apologizing and kept repeating, "You know how hard it is for me, and do you not think I'm also embarrassed?" which is her go-to whenever anyone tried to pull her up about her eating habits. Okay, so by the sound of it, people have had a go at her in the past about this. You've got a woman who's on the autism spectrum, aka she has autism, and she's got an eating disorder. People are somehow gonna have a go at her for eating off the kids menu. If anything, they should be happier because it means it's cheaper and they don't have to pay as much. My dad later said I was an a-hole for shouting at my mum when she had done so much and spent so much just so I could have a nice dinner with my whole family. I don't think I am, because she could have just not eaten or ordered some bread instead of eating off the kids menu. So am I the a-hole? Yes, you absolutely are. I'm so sorry. You know what your mum is like and you're having to go at her for it. Would you much rather her go to the restaurant with you and eat air, literally sit there with nothing, or just eat a kids menu? I can guarantee you no one will notice. Nobody will care. It's your mum. You should love her. Okay, so we do have a bit of an update. Okay, so I'm certainly 100% without a doubt an absolute raging a-hole. Just try to type a whole explanation out, but I exceeded the character limit, so please read my comment. Thank you for making me see how much of an ungrateful brat I was being. Okay, so this guy got an absolute walloping in the comment section, which honestly I'm not surprised by. You have a mum who has an eating disorder and autism. She took you out for a really nice meal, paid for it, and you somehow have a go at her. Stop being an idiot and grow up. You're the a-hole. Let me be honest with you, man. The food she eats doesn't matter at all. The thing that really matters is the family having a good time out there. It was just a kind of family get together for celebrating your success. So what really matters is all you having a good time and you being happy. What she eats doesn't have to do anything anything with all of these, and you just overreacted to the entire scenario. Exactly, like, I'm so sorry. What do you expect your mum to do? You know exactly what your mum's like, yet you still invited her out and also made her pay. Honestly, you need to repay your mum in some sort of way because you've completely misinterpreted that entire situation. You're the a-hole. You need to get over yourself. She has a medical condition that is recognized and protected by law in most cases. You're self-absorbed AF for even getting upset or caring what your mum orders or eats. Imagine your mum loving you and struggling with this her whole life, only for a child to make her feel like a failure and embarrassment. I'm heartbroken for your mum. You should be ashamed of yourself. Exactly, like, what you need to do is go and apologize to your mother right now. Even after reading that, I'm trying to think in my head how you thought that would be a good idea to post that on the Reddit page, because absolutely nobody's on your side. So just to recap that whole post, you absolutely are a massive raging a-hole. I'm an a-hole for causing family drama over a swimming pool. So I know from experience that Reddit isn't the most understanding towards parents of young kids, but I really just want a third party opinion because this situation is driving me crazy and my family are said I need to get over it. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be the third party opinion. Let's get into it. I, female 30s, live with my partner and her 2 kids, aged 7 and 3. My older sister Ava, who's also 30, and her husband recently purchased a house in the local area. It's a super nice place with a big yard, and you can probably guess from the title, a swimming pool. I mean, yeah, so what I got from the title is that apparently you're causing family drama over a swimming pool, aka you probably want to use it without their consent and then get angry at them for it. Ava recently hosted a barbecue at her place. It wasn't a huge event, but she invited me, our parents, and our other sibling. She mentioned letting the kids play in the pool, so I only assumed my kids would be included. We are potty training, although my youngest is still in diapers at the moment. Please don't tell me you put a child who's not potty trained in a pool. First of all, this pool's gonna go from a nice clear color, a yellow color, to a brown color. At the barbecue, I was getting my youngest ready for the pool by changing him into a swim diaper. Ava pulled me aside and told me she doesn't think it's hygienic for my youngest to play in the pool. Since swim diapers don't hold paint, she asked if he doesn't swim in the pool with the other kids playing in it. I didn't think that this was fair and told Ava that lots of people, adults and kids, pee in a pool, and it would be no different at a public pool, so what's the problem? I would say the problem is the fact that your child is not potty trained and you're trying to put him in a swimming pool with other kids while he's wearing a diaper. And yet again, what other people pee in swimming pools? If I'm ever in a swimming pool or a jacuzzi and I know someone's peed in there, I get out immediately because that's disgusting. I was once in a public swimming pool and someone decided to do a poo in it. I'm not joking, that floater literally shot out and floated to the surface. I had to close the swimming pool. And keep in mind, my mum paid for me to get into that swimming pool and they literally had to close it because some dirty child done a poo in it. She's being really condescending and wouldn't listen to me at all. Said he can play in the pool when he's toilet trained and it's not fair on the other kids. At this point, my son was crying because he wanted to swim in the pool and I told Ava she was being cold. It's her house and her pool, so do what you want. Ava accused me of trying to guilt trip her and told me just to drop it. Ava is being correct, you are trying to guilt trip her. I was getting upset myself at this point and I told her parents and other siblings about what Ava did. Told me it's not a big deal, it's not worth arguing with her over and try not to let it bother me. I wasn't happy because this essentially means they're siding with her and downplaying how she treated me and my son. No one is downplaying how you feel and no one is siding with her. People are understanding your child quite frankly doesn't know how to stop peeing and pooing, and to me that's a good reason as to why he wouldn't be allowed in the pool. I left the barbecue early with my family because we didn't feel welcome after that. The next day Ava messaged me a whole paragraph and said that she was sorry that I'm upset, that she wasn't trying to exclude my son for the sake of it. It was a super non-apology and I told her I don't want to hear it and that she's damaged her relationship with her nephew and she's not the one who had to deal with him being upset. Ava snapped at me out of nowhere and said I'm being dramatic. I told her to grow up and I said that I have a very valid reason to be mad and she needs to stop acting like a teenager. Ava shoot these messages to everyone and everything's just a bit up in the air. I feel like I'm right here but the rest of the family doesn't seem to agree. Yeah, that's because the family know you're in the wrong. Put it this way, if your child is not potty trained, why would you put him in a swimming pool with other kids? If you want to put him in his own swimming pool, that's fine. Not with other kids. He might not pee or poo, but that's not the point. He can't control it. So like for the sake of the other kids, why would he be allowed in it? Why the hell are people voting not the a-hole here? You're the a-hole 100%. First and foremost, it's not your pool, it's Ava's. And it's totally reasonable for her to not want your kids pissing in it. Exactly, like I've literally been in a swimming pool where a kid is shat in it. And I'm not joking, they had to close the swimming pool. And this also wasn't like a small poo like rabbit dropping. This poo was the size of a casserole. I'm not joking, it was the size of this water bottle. It was bigger than me. And yet again, it's not even your swimming pool. How are you gonna have the entitlement and audacity to argue with someone over their own swimming pool and their own rules? You need help. You're an a-hole. Not sure why peeing in the pool is considered okay by a lot of people, but it's effing disgusting and your sister has a right to say no. That's something I also find very disturbing, the fact that she was so casual about talking about people peeing in pools. Who pees in swimming pools? I don't do it. I hope you don't do it. Maybe Ava does it. But are you an a-hole? Absolutely. And quite frankly, you just need to get your head out of your ass. But anyways guys, just for leave that video there. That's some Am I the a-hole post family edition. And I can't lie, I low-key love this family too. If you want to see me looking more posts like this, let me know, definitely will. Subscribe button, see you all tomorrow for another video.